Welcome back to County Connection. For this episode, we're going to be talking about controlling noxious weeds. And with me is Ben Plyman, who is the manager of the Summit County Noxious Weed Control Program that we have within the Community Development Division of Summit County Government. So welcome, Ben.
Thanks for having me, Julie.
All right, so Ben, this is a busy time of year for you and your team as you're out there preserving the beauty of Summit County, of our landscape. So give us a little definition of noxious weeds.
Julie, the short answer is a noxious weed is a plant that's not native to the U.S. That tends to be highly invasive. Some of them were brought here on purpose for erosion control. Others were brought in accidentally. But ultimately now we have them and they have no natural controls here.
Okay, so they don't have any predators that like to eat them and...
Right, they don't have the disease, the insects that eat them, the animals that graze them and keep them down. We just don't have those here as you would maybe find in there where they're from.
Okay, and so that causes them to really run rampant. And I've definitely seen some photos that your department has provided where they're just, across an entire river valley or something like that, and just taking over areas that would be normally, have all native species that we love to see.
Right, and that part of that's what makes them a noxious weed versus just a regular weed. They really take over. They can produce large amounts of seed. Some of them produce their own allelopathogens or herbicides and kill plants around them.
Okay.
So these are plants that really take over and can cause some problems.
Okay. So what are some examples of noxious weeds that we typically see in Summit County? Because we definitely see a lot of dandelions, but those aren't noxious.
Right. Probably the ones that people are most familiar with that we have the most of are our daisies. We have oxeye daisy and chamomile. Those two are on the noxious weed list. Then also are the thistles. We've got 4 thistles in the county that are on the noxious weed list. And with that, we also have 22 native thistles present in the county as well. So those are the ones we see the most. And then on our website, on the county's website, we have guides to thistles and your daisies so that you can compare and tell the difference between the plants.
Right. And so there are a variety of control strategies, both that you guys use as well as that folks can use at home on their own properties. So tell us what some of those strategies are and which ones maybe work best for which weeds.
Yeah, there's a number of ways. We've done a number of weed pulls over the years. We'll go into an area. The chamomile that we talked about earlier can be pulled. The musk thistle, plumeless thistles, bull thistles, those thistles can all be pulled. One thistle that you don't want to pull is the Canada thistle. It has a very extensive root system, and if you don't get all the roots, it's just going to regrow. We also use herbicides for a number of the plants. And this year we're actually trying a rust fungus that's here in Colorado already, but we don't have it so much spread around our county. So we've talked with the insectary in Palisade, and they're actually going to bring in a fungus this fall and apply it on one of our open spaces to see if that will manage the Canada thistle.
Oh, okay.
So there's a number of ways to do it. And those are a couple instances.
All right. And then, so what would you say for someone who's looking to control it on their own property, some strategies that they might be able to use, including some services that you guys provide?
Yeah. One of the things that we provide is a backpack rental program where you give us a call, tell us what weed you have, we figure out what herbicide you need, we'll put that in the backpack sprayer, and then you come and pick it up, and you have 24 hours to use it and spray your property, and that's at no charge to you. If you call our office at 970-668-4252, talk with Tom, he'll get you a backpack lined up and get that to you. Also on our website is a weed management plan that has all the weeds that we have in the county and the different controls that you can use on them.
All right. Perfect.
So that information's there as well.
Great. And then if you do pick up that backpack sprayer and participate in, take advantage of that program. You guys also do a great job talking about safety and kind of handling and any safety precautions that you need while you're applying herbicide.
That's correct. When you come in, we do go over a safety sheet, what to wear, what not to spray, what to spray, how much to spray. So we'll go over that so you'll walk away feeling safe and comfortable, ready to use the herbicide that we give you.
All right, so you mentioned your website, which definitely has lots of great info for folks to educate themselves about noxious weeds and how to get on top of them. But then you also have another educational opportunity that's coming up later this month.
We do. We have a weed workshop that we are putting on. It's Friday, July 17th at the Community Center, or Senior Center here in Frisco. We're going to be discussing what weeds are versus noxious weeds. We're going to do weeds and their lookalikes. So sometimes we get some calls and confusion on plants. So we're going to go through
the difference between all those many varieties of thistles you're talking about.
Which thistle do I have? Which daisy do I have? A lot of people have oxeye daisy in the garden. They love them. They're pretty. But we also have a lot of native asters and some other native plants that you could use that's very similar to the oxeye daisy, such as the Shasta daisy.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about, if you like this, let's put this plant in instead. We'll go over that. And then we're going to go over how to get rid of those noxious weeds. Whether you can pull them, whether you need to spray them, whether there's bugs that'll do it that you can order from the insectary, or ways to control the thistles, the oxeyes, the different weeds you might encounter. With that, we'll be also going over reseeding. If you disturb an area, odds are you might get some noxious weeds moving in, so we're going to go over some reseeding, how to have ways that not to get noxious weeds in the area.
Okay.
And that'll happen July 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
All right. And you guys are providing lunch for participants?
That's correct. We're having lunch. It's $10 a person, $5 for kids. Lunch is included. And with that, if you bring in a bag of weeds that you've pulled, we will give you, we're going to give you a grass seed mix and a wildflower mix just for coming out and pulling those weeds. So lunch and some seed for you.
All right, so some two great incentives right there to do your part.
I'm going for lunch. So.
All right. So how do people sign up for the workshop?
You're going to contact the Middle Park Conservation District at 970-531-0127, and you will speak with Caitlin there, and she will get you signed up.
All right, that sounds fantastic. A great educational opportunity for folks that's super centrally located, and some great incentives there. So where can people find out more about your program or get in touch with you guys?
You could definitely check out the website at co.summit.co.us, or give us a call at the office at 970-668-4218.
All right, fantastic. Well, the workshop sounds great, so definitely head to the weed control section of the Summit County website or sign up for that workshop that takes place on July 17th. Thanks so much for coming in, Ben.
Thank you, Julie.
All right, stick with us, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about how to take advantage of deed-restricted housing here in Summit County.
Ticky-tacky little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a green one and a pink